So qualifying around Silverstone today, we really do have an incredible race based off of this, if this is anything to go with. But let's have a look at which drivers did well and which did not, with the 5 things that we learned from British Grand Prix qualifying in 2025. So unfortunately, like I've spoken about a number of times here on the channel in recent times, the pressure is really ramping up on Franco Colapinto. He's making rookie errors. I know he is a rookie, but he's making rookie errors where he didn't used to make all these mistakes, and he made a really big one today, unfortunately for him. Literally first time out in Q1. Unfortunately, that's as far as he went. He ended up putting too much power through the car, going through the final right-hander to start the lap before the Hamilton straight. He ran off the track, lost control of the car, through the gravel, into the barrier, out of qualifying, lines up dead last, unfortunately for him. It wouldn't surprise me entirely if he has to take a gearbox penalty because of the incident, or if he just opts to make some changes to his car and start from the pit lane. But yeah, really big shame for Colapinto. I feel for him, and you know, like I said in my my Friday practice review as well, you know, Paul Aaron, who is an Alpine junior, he did run in FP1 for the Sauber team, so he has a bit of experience under his belt now. So honestly, I'd be really afraid for Colapinto for the rest of this season. We know what Flavio Briatore is like. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying he should go, but I'm just saying it's entirely possible given what is happening right now, and he really will need a miracle to score points from there. And his teammate Pierre Gasly got into the top 10 as well, so really bad day for Franco Colapinto and his fans, no doubt. But let's speak about Ollie Bman. A really good qualifying session for him. He was all the way up in P8 in a Haas. Fantastic pace from him. He was the fastest guy at Silverstone, outside the usual suspects of the Mercedes, of the Ferraris, of the McLarens, and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. He was all the way up in P8. Seriously impressive for him. Problem is, though, he's going to start down in P18, and I've already done a video that should be out at the same time as this one, going over the penalties, or out shortly after anyway, going over the penalties for this weekend. There's only 2 of them, but Ollie Bman's is an absolutely bizarre one. But yeah, a 10-place penalty for a red flag infringement in free practice 3. Check out that video if you've not seen it already, guys. I go into more in depth about how this is an absolute slam dunk, and he deserves that at a minimum, really. But yeah, unfortunately for him, his hard work all basically gets undone. He starts behind Esteban Ocon, who didn't have a good day at all in qualifying today. But yeah, he starts all the way down in P18. Really bittersweet day. I mean, he really could have and should have done more. If he didn't make that mistake in free practice 3, he'd be starting in the top 10. He'd have a really good chance of scoring points as well. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be an easy one around Silverstone tomorrow. But yeah, Ferrari, they look quick. I mean, they were looking quick in practice. Obviously, Hamilton got the fastest time in FP1, and they looked very strong in FP2. FP3 looked pretty good as well. It was looking really positive for the Maranello concern. And in fairness, they did a good job today in qualifying. Hamilton, for me, probably should have got pole position. He made a very basic error, in my opinion, going into the Vale chicane. He just basically ran too wide on the entry onto the grass and lost a bit of time as a result. Would he have got pole position without that mistake? It's hard to tell, but it definitely cost him a tenth or so. And that's all it took in the end to mean that he didn't end up getting on the front row of the grid. And in fact, he's all the way down in P5. So not really a great day for him. Charles Leclerc just behind him in P6. But the gaps, I mean, I mentioned it's going to be a very close race tomorrow. The gaps from P1, well, I'll get on to who that is very soon, down to P6, who is Charles Leclerc in his Ferrari. It is just over 0.2 of a second. So seriously close. It's going to be a really entertaining race tomorrow, I do think. And we've seen, like in 2022, how these cars really are suited well to this track at Silverstone. But let's talk about the McLarens. They just missed out on pole position today. Oscar Piastri, very solid. Made a mistake, though, going through the final corner. We saw that trip up some other people like Colapinto, and unfortunately just made a slight mistake there. Cost him a tenth of a second. And that is all the difference it was between him and the pole sitter. Lando Norris, meanwhile, he improved with his second lap, which he was one of the few drivers to be able to do that. So he lands up in P3. Very tight between him and his teammate. George Russell, shout out to him very briefly in P4. Really impressive today, no doubt about that. Pole position. you already know who it is. You've got to know by now. If you've not already seen the news, you probably have surmised that it's got to be Max Verstappen. Final thing that we learned, Max Verstappen produces when it is required. What a lap by him. I mean, he was quick all through qualifying. He set the joint fastest time in FP2 alongside Oscar Piastri. Literally the same to a thousandth of a second. Seriously quick. Unbelievable lap by him. Can he convert it to a victory tomorrow? I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I don't think it's particularly likely. I do feel like the McLarens probably have the edge in terms of race pace. But, you know, George Russell's Mercedes is going to be in there. The Ferraris are going to be in there. You can't really even count out the likes of Kimi Antonelli either. I mean, it's unbelievable how close that leading pack are. I really do think they're going to have a fantastic race tomorrow. And I'm all here for it. I really am. Don't even count out Fernando Alonso either. P7 he lines up. He qualified in P9, but a few guys ahead of him do lose out because of those penalties. So, yeah, really entertaining qualifying session. It was kind of hinting at maybe raining at some point. It didn't really rain enough to get out of the intermediates or cause problems for the drivers, but maybe that played a role in the likes of Piastri and Colapinto getting unstuck going through the final corner. So yeah, your thoughts as always in the comments below are appreciated, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always if you want to see more like this, and we will see you soon for the Silverstone Grand Prix tomorrow. I've got F1 News Zone coming up in the morning as well. I mean, this is going to be at the end of it anyway, so if you're watching that, hello, welcome. But yeah, if you're not, that'll be out tomorrow. So yeah, have a great time, guys, and we'll see you very soon for much more content on the world of Formula 1, just like this.